Welcome to the History Help channel. We are Today we'll be looking into Arab historiography. So, in the earlier slides, you had learnt about church historiography, and even before that, Greeks and Roman. Today, what we are concentrating is on Arab historiography. So, a bit about Arabs and Islam. So, Arabia was a cradle of Islam. So, that is where it was the start of Islamic religion. So Arabs basically were into commerce. So they were into trade. So they were mostly going in caravans to distant places, exporting, importing a lot of things, and they were connected to a lot both Asia as well as Europe. So the beginning of Islam was from in Mecca. So Prophet Muhammad was born sometime in 570 571 AD in Mecca. There after he got enlightenment and he started preaching about Allah. But he had to migrate to Medina during 622 AD. That is known as the Hijrah era in Islamic calendar. So this is a very important event when Prophet Muhammad migrated from Mecca to Medina. After his death, 632 AD, the successors who came after Prophet were known as the caliphs. So Islam began to spread, and it also started going in towards Central Asia and Europe and other parts, and Islamic empire began to be built. So whoever was there, they were known as the caliphs, who were the guardians or the deputy of the Prophet. So one of the main caliph was Umayyad Caliphate, which was there from 661 to 750 AD. And during their reign, the empire actually spread to Central Asia, Spain, France. Then we also had the next after Umayyad Caliphate came the Abbasid Caliphate, that was from 750 to 1258 AD. After 1258 AD, there was Mongol invasion. So this, in short, is the brief spread of the Islam. This one, Caliphate and Arabia. So if you see the map, that shows the spread of their empire. So let us come back to Arab historiography. So such was the history of Arabs. So let's see. So Arab historiography is nothing but medieval historiography. Just like church historiography, Arab historiography was also a part of medieval ages. Medieval ages in Europe is actually between 4th to 5th century after the fall of Roman Empire till 15th century. So that is known as the medieval period. So during that time, the church historiography and Arabs historiography was a leading this one during this era. So Arab historiography is the link between ancient and modern period. Once again, like church historiography, Arab historiography is based on God, on divine faith. But compared to church historiography, it is more rational because it is taking from Greek, Greek traditions. Okay, so it's more rational. So one of the greatest Arab historiographers is Ibn Khaldun, which we will be seeing in the next slide. So just like Romans, Arabs too spread to Asia, Europe, and Africa. So I told you how Umayyad Caliphate it spread to Central Asia, Spain, and all. Similarly, like Romans, they spread everywhere. So one of the things that happened was once they conquered the people, their culture, wherever they went and spread their empire, their culture was not erased. Okay, so they went to Sindh. In Sindh, they did not delete the culture or demolish the culture. The culture of all of them got absorbed into the Arab, this one itself. So Arab historiography became richer because it started absorbing the culture and it started incorporating philosophy, theology, and also history parts. So there are three significant contributions of Arab historiography. The first is they were what is known as isnad, which means careful check of sources. So they always used to check their sources very well. So if they state a fact, if they tell about a fact, they always used to go back and see who was the source and whether he was a right person. Okay. Also, unlike church historiography, Arab historiography's chronology is very accurate. That is because their Islamic calendar begins from the Hijrah era. That would be migration of the Prophet from Mecca, which I mentioned earlier. So, but in church historiography, chronology was not very good. Sometimes they used to refer January 1st, sometimes they used to refer Easter, sometimes they used to refer December 25th. But Arab historiography was quite accurate in that regard. Second, like I said, Arabs were already commercial people. They used to travel a lot, and in the course of building empires, administration also had to be done. So they basically traveled a lot. Third, they also contributed philosophers like Ibn Khaldun. Beginnings of Arab historiography was like Greek. Their pre-Islamic period, it was mainly to do with ballads. Okay, and it had poetry and all. Later, Umayyad period and Abbasid periods, there were changes. So, in pre after the Islam came and Muhammad was there, Prophet Muhammad was there, whatever was written was isolated events. Mainly, it was related with campaigns of Prophet, like for example, Battle of Camel, Battle of Siffin, etc. So the earliest historian, what we call in Arab historiography, is Muhammad Ishaq. He wrote about the Umayyad dynasty. There was one more person, Ibn Hisham, who wrote the biography of Muhammad in 828 AD. These are all during the Umayyad period. Next, the beginnings, I told you Abbasid period began from 750 AD. So there was so in Abbasid Caliphate period, wherever they conquered, so the conquered people was mentioned in their charters. So they used to say the rights of these people, who whichever state they conquered, whichever region they conquered, they used to mention that in charters. So this itself became a primary historical source. Secondly, during the opposite period, it was Baghdad was the capital. So there was a Persian rise of Persian. This one here. So whatever was written had the Persian traditions. So one of the persons to mention is Ibn Yahya, who wrote the history of conquest of Iraq, mainly about the is this one he has written the conquest of Iraq. Then we have Waqidi, who has written Kitab e ul Magzai, which was a history of the expansion and military and missionary expansion of Islam. So it seems he wherever he used to go, Waqidi, wherever he used to go, he used to carry 120, carry all his books in some 120 camels. So that so much collection he had. Then one more person to mention is Al-Badaini, who wrote about uh, Muslim conquest in Syria, Egypt, Africa, Spain, and all that. When Spain was conquered, Spain historians came. So Spain Arabic historians arose. So that is how the Arab historiography has grown. So the questions that is mainly that comes here is bring out the contribution of Arabs to development of historiography. So the main thing to notice, Arabs contributed a lot towards writing of history, which was accurate, chronology was maintained, and both during Umayyad and Abbasid period there were differences. Abbasid period had Persian literature traditions. So earlier pre-Islamic traditions were very much similar to Greece. So the next slide we will be talking, next lesson we will be talking about is Ibn Khaldun. So thank you.